Are you tired of teaching after school hours and not being at home when your kids are home? Do you want to build a booming business with daytime teaching hours? Well then, this video is for you. Hey, I'm Miss Deb, children's author, songwriter, baby, toddler, preschool music specialist, and I am passionate about helping teachers just like you to learn and become better teachers. Welcome to my office. I am so excited that you are here and that you're going to follow me on this journey. I'm going to give you 8 tips to help you grow the business that you always dreamed of, with many students that just keep feeding your business over and over again. It's going to make it much easier, and trust me, I know the secret because I've done it myself. I grew my studio from nothing to 125 families that came every week, and these were just for my group classes. I'm not even talking about my private studio for after school lessons that I also kept. I'm talking about my daytime hours. 125 families coming, most of them coming 2 to 3 times a week. You can do it too, and I am going to show you how. We're getting to the end of COVID. Well, I really hope so anyhow, and I know you all do because I see it in all the groups, all the Facebook groups, everybody telling me, oh, when will this be over? I am so tired of online teaching. I can't wait to be back. And I know some of you are lucky enough to be back in person, and I am so thankful for those of you who are. I know I'm teaching right now in one preschool. Everything else that I'm doing is online. So I'm still in that kind of transitional phase, but I'm really looking forward to things turning around. So let's get started. Number 1, you have got to make your first class free. Families don't know who you are. They don't know how you teach. They don't know what you have to offer. It's really important for families to get to see you in action, watch you shine, and see how much their kids can have fun in your classes. First class free is like the most important thing ever for families. Money is hard to make, but easy to spend. Don't we all know it? So families want to feel reassured that they are giving their kids quality content. So you've got to make that first lesson free. Get them in the door, and then they won't be able to refuse or deny that, wow, you're a great teacher. My kids are having fun. I want to bring them back, okay? So that's tip number 1, the most important. Okay, number 2. You need to establish your classes and build them like a funnel, okay? So what I mean by that is you need babies. You need to start with the babies, because you know what happens? Babies grow up, and they grow up super fast, okay? So you're going to have your babies in your baby class to about 12 months. And then after that, you're going to want to move them into a new program. When you teach baby classes, you grow loyal clients who stick with you for long term. And that's really important, not only because you want families to stay with you for a long time, but also because they are going to tell their friends. Yes, and mummies want lots of fun. It is hard raising kids. We need a whole community around you. So you're not just building up your classroom and building up your studio, you're also building up your community, and that is so important as well. So these go along with tip number 1. Guys, we still have more tips to go. I'm going to go more into depth on each of these kind of talking points in the weeks to come, but today I'm just going to give you an overview of the 8 most important things that I've narrowed down that have made me the most successful in my business, okay? So build that baby class. You need it for growth. You need it for word of mouth. You need it so that you can become a pillar in your community. People will be like waving to you at the grocery store, and the little kid will say, oh, hey, it's Miss Deb. And you're like a rock star of your community. Who doesn't want to be a rock star, right? It's super fun. Okay, so let's go to the next point. This is kind of tricky. I'm kind of looking at my computer for my points here as I go along because there's a lot of them. Okay, research your rates. Okay, so you get the people to come for their first class for free, and the next question they ask, okay, well, how much is it to sign up? Well, you can't. They're not going to come to you if they don't already know that information. So you have to research your rates. I see on these Facebook groups all the time, how much should I charge? And they're asking people all over the world. Well, no, that's too big. You can't do it. Money is different no matter what country you're in, and even sometimes neighborhoods are a lot different. So what you need to do is you need to research all of the classes that are similar or similar age groups as to yours, what you're offering, and see what they are charging, okay? Take a look at what the fees are across the board, and you might find a pattern, you might not, but at least you can kind of get an idea as to where you might fit in. If you're just starting out as a new teacher, you might need to be at the lower end of things. If you have a little bit more experience and credentials, maybe you're at a higher edge. But just remember that those consumers, those families are going to be looking at your pricing and scrutinizing them before they even walk through that door. So you want to make sure it's affordable, it's competitive with all the other things that are in the area, okay? Rates are very important. Okay, so along with the rates of what you charge, you're going to need to consider a lot of things. Now, I'm going to go into depth into that later, but don't worry, okay? So how much are you paying for your rent? How much you need to pay for insurance? How much you need to pay for licensing? Depending on what community you live in, maybe you need to license music. Maybe you have to have some sort of membership with your country into that sort of thing. These are things you're going to have to look into, and every country is different. So I'm not even going to pretend to know the answers for everyone because I do not. I know my answers, but I don't know yours. So research, that's very important, okay? Now, there's another part to this rate thing. It's not just about the rates. When you want families to enroll in 1, 2, 3 classes per week, I had many families in 3 classes per week, and it was awesome. You need to offer some sort of incentive because they are not going to want to come for 3 full price classes. But again, you want them to, right? So you need to make it extra affordable for them. You need to have some sort of incentive. So we'll talk about that later, okay? Okay, this is a big one. Remember how at point number 1, I was saying that money is easy to spend and not easy to make, right? So families are often on a budget. It's a really good idea if you can fit yourself in their budget. Now you might say, how am I going to do that? I don't know their budget. No, we don't know their budget, but we can make their budgeting easier by offering them a payment plan. Some families won't want it, but some families will need it. And if that option is not there, they won't come. They might come for their first free class, and then that will be the last time you've seen them, okay? You need to make it easy for them to come back. So offering a payment plan often does that. It makes it a lot easier for them to say, yeah, okay, I can afford, such and such amount per month. But if they have to come up with, say your class session is 3 months or something, if they have to pay all those 3 months up in advance, and they're already really watching their money every month, how are they going to do that? They're not going to save up so that they can come to your class, right? They are going to go somewhere else who offers something that's monthly. So be competitive in that. And you might find, especially if you're in music lessons, that might be a little bit of an edge to the rest of the group offerings in your neighborhood, in your area, that maybe nobody else offers monthly payment plans. So that can really make a big difference. Okay? All right, so we're off to point number 4. Programs. Learn new programs. Okay, so what I mean by this, you can't just offer one class. You can't teach the same class over and over to babies, to toddlers, to preschoolers, to kinders, to grade school, right? That's 5 different classes with 5 different age groups, okay? Wow, my hand is big. You can't do that. They will be bored. They're all at different learning points in their life. So you have to customize each class. And I'm sure you know that already. But take that one thought further. Now, what if you were to offer different types of classes? So maybe you really like to read. I made up this program, I call it Sing Me a Story, and I read a story, we sing a song, I teach them a new song that has the same theme as the story, and then we draw with crayons, a directed drawing, me drawing and showing them exactly how to do everything, step by step, very easy depending on who all is in the class at their level, right? Okay, so yeah, and then we sing the song again at the end, we sing a hello song, we sing the goodbye song, but it's like super fun and the kids love it, okay? That's totally different. Now you're infusing music and art and literacy because you've got the story element. So that's something you could do. You could do a reading kind of program, right? There's yoga, there is baby sign language, or there's toddler sign language. There's all kinds of different music and movement programs. I could name so many. I've taught many in my studio, and I will get into all these different programs that you can offer in your studio later. But keep your ceiling high. Think outside of the box. What do parents want these days? What can they do, right? Maybe, I don't want to say any trademark names, so I gotta be really careful here. But yeah, there's all kinds of different things. So just think outside the box, and I think I already said it. Okay, I don't know what number we're on. Are we on number 5? I think we're number 5. Learn new programs. Oh, that was number 4. Yeah, learn new programs, or just make your own. Okay, maybe you play different types of instruments. So maybe you want to I offered a ukulele class in mine for my preschoolers. Most people don't teach ukulele for preschoolers, but I love my little ones experimenting on all kinds of instruments. I also taught a bells class, and what else did I teach? I taught a couple of different types of music and movement, and so many classes because there were so many kids who would come. So we fill up the classes. You'd find out how many your max was for that room, that your maximum capacity that you could have, that you really felt comfortable and in control teaching in front of the baby classes. I taught 2 times a week. I mean, at my busiest time before COVID, I was teaching 17 group classes a week. And yeah, it was pretty crazy and pretty fun. So yeah, think about things that you're good at. It could, maybe you're more specialized in art, or maybe you want to do something about composition, or I don't know. I would love to hear your ideas. You should post them below in the comments. Okay, now what else was the other one? Okay. Advertising. Advertising is so hard because it's so expensive. And you know what? I hardly spent any money advertising in my community because it's just like throwing the money out the door. And the best way, the absolute best way for you to advertise is to advertise your free class. Remember that free class that I told you in the very beginning, number 1? Yes, that free class can get you so many advertisements for free. So join a Facebook group in your area and make sure it's okay to post, because some of them have rules and you're not allowed to post for for business. But sometimes you could just send a message to the admin and you could say, hey, I'm going to be holding a free class and I would love it if I could post, since it's free. A lot of these groups will allow you to post once a month or something like that. So get clarification before you post, but usually it's good. It's a golden ticket, okay? Of course, you can print out all kinds of stuff. You can hand them out at schools. You can hand them out at preschools, daycares, churches, anywhere. children and families congregate, coffee shops, bookstores, little boutique shops, dance studios. Usually businesses won't allow other businesses, but sometimes they do. Music stores. I'm sure you're a music teacher. You already know some great ways that help you get the word out there for your families. So Facebook groups are a really good way. Make sure you have a Facebook page, make sure you have Instagram, make sure you have, social media so that you can advertise your own stuff on there, and so that people have somewhere to go to see you, okay? Now, when you're doing your free class, it's always a good idea to say in there, hey, I'm gonna take some pictures, and get people to sign off on that so you can post those pictures. That's a great idea. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, yes. So building a business isn't just about how you're going to make it grow. It's also about being organized in everything that you do, right? All of your documents, like your contracts, your studio policies, those types of things, super duper important. Don't skip time, don't rush. I'm gonna go through these kinds of things with you, but keep a folder of everything together. So if you have one class, keep that in one folder. Another class, keep that in another folder. Maybe it's a folder on your computer or whatever. Just make sure that you always have your folder handy for you, okay? Make a blanket contract for each of those classes. Make it all the same, okay? You don't want to have to make a separate looking one for each of them because it's really time consuming. Just make a blanket one that fits one shape, fits all kind of thing. Okay, that'll save you a lot of time. And I don't even know what point we're on anymore. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch all this because I lost it. To be a rock star, yeah, you have got to really kick butt in that first free class. First impressions are everything, so you need to make sure that you know your stuff. You have it all up here. You have practiced in front of a mirror. You've practiced in sitting in a circle with stuffies all around. You've practiced with eye contact, and you're not speaking too quickly. I hope I'm not speaking too quickly today. I think usually I speak a little too slow, but when you get excited and the adrenaline is going, you tend to go way faster, right? So yeah, make sure that everything you say is clear and concise. Now, another tip on top of that one, the last point here today is to record yourself while you're practicing, and then you can watch it back, because when you see yourself in action, there's little things that you can pick up, and if you've ever done it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, sometimes just the silliest thing, like I have this thing where I like to put my head to the side, and I just kind of I do this all day long, and what's happened is my neck has gotten really sore. Pretty silly, right? Another thing I do is I shake, and yeah, I had to see a chiropractor about that for 2 years because I had shaken my head off of the neck. So yeah, watch yourself in your videos and learn from it. You are a great teacher, and you can even teach yourself. So yeah, when you're practicing, learn your songs of what you're going to be doing for your class ahead of time, and learn them one by one. So don't move on and learn too many things at once. Now, if you're a music teacher, you're going to know this already, but you might not actually put it into practice. A lot of times, as teachers, know things, but no, that doesn't apply to me. But yeah, it does. It's hard to learn, and especially, I don't know if you've noticed, but as you get older, things get harder and harder to learn and to remember. So you really want to make sure that you are prepared, you know the next step, you know a transition to what's going on to the next song, you just know exactly your routine of where you're going, because along the way in a group class there are always going to be unexpected surprises, and they're going to throw you off guard, or maybe you forgot something, and then what will you do? Oh, well, we're going to do this instead. Well, you don't say that instead, you say, oh yeah, we're doing this. And then it doesn't look like you forgot. So yeah, so those are my 8 tips centered business. And I'm so happy that you joined me today. Next week, we are going to dive into some of these concepts a little bit further. Now, I would love to hear which topic you would like to hear about next week. So if you put in the comments, I will seriously consider. If there's a bunch of people saying, I need help with this, Deb, I need help with that, and I'm going to say, okay, I will help you because that was the most requested thing. And hopefully it's the topic that I'm really good at. Because you know what? Like, we're not perfect. Teachers don't know everything. There isn't one teacher out there that is an expert at everything. We can all learn so much from each other. And that is why I'm so happy to be here, because I'm going to learn so much from all of you. And I'm really looking forward to it. So until next week, you guys have a great day and happy teaching. We'll see you next time. Bye.